So I'm sure you've asked yourself this question many times, and I have too. Do you need a business plan to start your nonprofit? Do you need a business plan to start any business? And you will probably get mixed answers every single time. So today in this video, I want to talk to you about when the right time to use a business plan would be and how to set your business plan up, how many pages it should be. Now, these are just some of my tips on how I think you should approach a business plan for your nonprofit or your for-purpose business. So thanks for watching the Socialife, the place to be for entrepreneurs with a purpose. Let's jump right in. So when you think about a business plan, you probably think of like a 35-page document that's huge with all of the information about your business and all of these things. But when you start to think about your business, you realize that you really don't have much of a business to make 35 pages worth of information. But when you really think about a business plan, try to think of it more as like a research paper, more so than how your business is actually going to be set up. Because there is a lot of learning that happens when you are setting up a business, and you don't know everything right off the bat. You don't know, how much money you're going to bring in. You don't quite even know really how your projections are going to come about. So in a normal business plan, you would have about 10 items, and I'm going to show you those 10 items for creating your own nonprofit, because I feel like these are some of the best items that you should have in your business plan if you're creating a nonprofit. First, before we move into that, I want to talk to you about when you would probably need a business plan, because you will get mixed answers on that. Some people will say you don't need a business plan at all, and some people will say absolutely you need a business plan. You're crazy if you don't have one. So I'm going to tell you where the middle ground is. When I was starting my nonprofit, I actually just wrote up on my computer a few things about my nonprofit, so that if I was talking to someone, I knew all of the basics that I needed to talk to them about. We were going to raise money by crowdfunding. We were going to have a mission of doing X, Y, and Z. And the reason for starting my story was this. And where we were going to get the kids from, how we were going to ask for donations, like all of those types of things. I put those types of things in my document. And really, I think putting the term business plan on a document really is what makes it something huge and scary. But what I want you guys to know is, more than anything, your business plan is there to help you more so than to do anything else for your business. It's not obviously going to make your business work. And that's why a lot of people say just start, and you can pivot and you can test and you can do all those things once you get started. So before you go to create your business plan, you need to know why your business plan is there, so that you have some of the key elements in there for when you need your business plan. So I have 5 main reasons why you may want to create a business plan. The first one is, if you're going out for fiscal sponsorships, fiscal sponsors really need to know why and how they would be helping you, how you have this plan set up. They're planning on taking you under their 501c3, so they want to make sure that you actually know what you're doing, you have a plan for what you're doing, and you've thought through some key elements of your nonprofit. The next reason is board members. Now, this is one of your most basic reasons. So when you go to ask a board member to join your board, you want to make sure that you really do have everything thought out, and they're coming into something that's not, a mess. They want to make sure that the person that's at the helm of this ship really does know what they're doing, and they really have thought through most everything that they need to get this nonprofit going. So that's one of the biggest pieces, I would say. If you do nothing else, I would at least create a 1-page just for your board members, for recruiting board members, to add into your corporate binder, all of those things, just so that you have that information for people. And also when you go to speak to others about partnerships for your nonprofit, you'll want to have a 1-pager of like, this is what we do, and this is why we do what we do. And I'll get to those elements later in the video. The next reason is for professionalism. When you walk in somewhere, anywhere, and you're talking about your nonprofit, or you're talking about your purpose, or anything you're doing, it really does give an air of professionalism when you can walk in and say, hey, this is my business and this is what we do, even if it's nothing more than like notes for you to be able to speak about your nonprofit. And have that information there. So people are going to ask you some of these questions that you will have in these key elements that I'm going to explain later in the video. The last thing, and I think probably the most important piece of having a business plan of any sort, is for people to understand your purpose and to understand your reasoning behind creating this business. Because if there are like 20 other businesses doing the same exact thing you're doing, then they're going to wonder, like, did you do any research to figure out how you're going to be different? Like, what's your value proposition? How are you standing out? How is your brand any different than this brand? And what does your nonprofit do that this nonprofit doesn't do? And there are lots of different questions that will come up, but if you have it all in your business plan, you don't have to worry about any of that. So try not to think of your business planning as a requirement. Try to think of it more from the perspective of, this is going to be a helpful tool for me. The other reason that you want to also have a business plan is if you're planning to do funding and you want to get a source of funding, you really need to be able to show people where those funds are going. And if you're planning to go to a bank, you absolutely need a business plan. That will be a requirement. And there are specific business plans set out for asking for funds or loans or any sort of banking that you might need to do for your organization. So this is a very basic business plan. This is not going to be a business plan with elements that will help get you through any sort of loans or anything like that. Because my goal is really just to give you guys a basic understanding of what should go in a business plan so that you can use it for other reasons in your nonprofit to help you along with just getting out there and explaining your nonprofit and what you do. So let's move into the tips and what I have for you guys as far as the elements. So this basic business plan will probably be about 1 to 3 pages. So I would say that your first thing that you should have in your business plan would be your purpose statement or your main goal. So why are you doing this? Why did you create this business? What is your goal with this business? How will we know when you've achieved your final goal, your final objective? That is a huge place to start. Basically giving a summary of your business and why you decided to create this, your purpose statement, all of those things. So you'll want to have that as your first piece of your business plan. The second piece you're going to want to have of your business plan is your mission statement. Your mission statement is obviously critical. So your mission statement will not be your purpose statement and it will not be your main goal. Your purpose is essentially your why, and your main goal is, how do we know that we've actually closed? So sometimes you guys will hear me refer to this as your vision statement. How will we know that we've achieved our goal and the nonprofit or your business is no longer needed because everyone has whatever it is that you were selling or creating or trying to fix, right? The need is fixed. That's when you know. That's your purpose statement. Now, your actual mission statement is, what are you actually doing? What is your mission? My mission is to help kids under the poverty level gain access to extracurricular activities. I'm just saying anything. So maybe that is your mission statement. Now, if your mission statement is on there and your purpose statement's there and you got your main goal and all of that's there, the next thing you'll need is your keys to success. People need to know how they would be able to benchmark that you are hitting the milestones that you've said you were going to hit. So maybe you're going to create an event that raises $50,000 so that you can put 50 kids through, or however you're planning on having your keys to success. I would have at least 1 to 5 there. And that just helps people show that you've thought through the process. You're not just depending on someone to give you funds and then you'll make whatever happen. No, you have a thought process and you have a way to structure both your marketing plan and your fundraising plans, and those are key. Those are very important. Now, when you first start up, you may not have a marketing or fundraising plan because you may not actually know what you're going to be getting from your marketing and fundraising and how you're going to do things yet, because you're still trying to figure that out. But you can still write it up and write all of that down. I wrote mine up and I sent it to other people. And when I talked to my board about it, they would find kinks in it. They'd say, hey, like, that doesn't really make sense, or you'd actually be losing money if you did it this way or whatever. And that's what your board is there for. That's what having these advisors and people that are supporting your mission, that's what they're there for, to kind of bounce things off of them and get some true advice. Let them help advise your program so that you're not just trying to do it on your own, because you will miss things. So don't feel like you can do this by yourself. It's a very difficult thing to try to do. So be sure that you always just write it up. Whatever ideas you have, write them all down. Some will be not so great and some will be fantastic, and some are just workable, like you can work with them. The next thing you'll want to do is write up some sort of industry analysis. Now, what this means is you're going to want to look around in your industry and with the demographic that you're trying to help, who else is in that space that's doing something similar to you or working with that same demographic. You'll want to kind of look at what else is out there, benchmark your own idea against what else is out there, because that helps people see like, oh, I guess there is a need for this. It helps show what that need is and how you're going to fill it. Number 5 is to have a target audience that you have segmented, okay? So when I say that, that means you're gonna have a few different target audiences when you are creating your business. You might have, for a nonprofit, you'll have something like donors, you'll have something like sponsorships, and you'll have something like event planning or partnerships that you want. You'll have a lot of different segments. So try to write out those segments for anyone who's looking at your proposal or your business plan, so that they can see that you've thought through and kind of where you're thinking about getting some of these funds from and who you're planning to target, so that they can see your organization come together. When you're writing these business plans, you're kind of just like painting a picture for other people. It may not be perfect right away, but once people start looking at it and they give you your feedback and all of that stuff, you will have a very polished business plan by the time you're ready to truly fully launch, or once you're ready to launch your first fundraising plan, whatever it is. So that moves me on to my next one, number 6. Now, your marketing plan could be as basic as, I'm going to use social media to put my information out there. I'm going to have a website. I'm going to have ambassadors, to talk about the nonprofit. I'm going to link up with schools and they're going to help me advertise. But like, people need to know what's going on in your head and what you're thinking about how you're going to get this information out there. Some people don't have a marketing brain and they don't have that in them already to be thinking about marketing. So you have to sometimes create that mental picture for people so that you can show them that you've already thought through a lot of this stuff and how they can use it. Next is your fundraising plan. You're going to want to create some sort of fundraising plan, just kind of writing out, if we had this much money, we could do X, Y, and Z. We could fund this many children. We could create an event that's going to bring in this much money if we had this many participants. You'll want to kind of give an outline of what really and truly, a business plan truly is just like an outline of what you're thinking, honestly, I think. That's how I approach my business planning, so I want you guys to do the same. Number 8 is your organizational structure. So what is the structure of your organization? Are you going to have, do you want to have staff? Do you need staff? Are you planning to work off of volunteers? Do you want to, are you going to be the executive director? How many hours a week are you planning to put in? How many hours a week do you think is required? Are you looking for staff? How much would you want to pay that person? All of those things just should be thought through. That's all. This is not set in stone. These are just ideas and they are thought through, so that when you go to talk to your board members and you go to speak to other people who want to support your organization, you will have a 1 to 3 page sheet that they can either say, hey, let me look over that, or let me think about sitting on your board. Do you have something I can read through? I felt like that was one of my downfalls when I was starting my nonprofit, is I wish I had something like this when I was originally starting. I just had a 1-pager, and most times I would just sit with someone and talk to them about my organization. But giving someone a little bit of extra time to think through whether they're going to be on your board or not is wise. It's wise because if you can give them a 1 to 3 page sheet of your business plan and let them see that, hey, I have actually thought through this, I really do want to move forward. Is there some place or some way you think that you would like to be involved? They have options. They can look through your organizational structure and say, hey, you know what, I know how to do X, Y, and Z. I'd be happy to help you with your organization in this way, but I can't necessarily sit on your board. Or, I really would like to sit on your board, and I might know someone who can do this job as your organizational structure as a volunteer, or whatever you're looking for. So if you're thinking about using interns, you're thinking about using a volunteer, whatever those things are, go here and write all of that. Number 9 are projections or need. So it's always good to know if you're planning on working with, poverty-ridden schools, or you're planning on working with homeless or whatever, what are those statistics that show that there is a need? And where is the need lacking that you're going to fill. So just like I wrote in your industry analysis, that's more looking at different types of organizations that fit alongside yours, that are either helpful to yours or that are directly competing with yours or that are filling the need like yours are, and how you're different, like what's your competitive advantage. But when I'm talking about your projections and need, I'm talking about, we want to know how many homeless are there that you're trying to help. How many people are, what's the actual need? We want to see like true statistics on what the actual need is. And if those projections are going up in 2025 or whatever, we want to know that, right? Because that shows that you actually have an organization that is needed and you are filling a true void. So it's really hard to argue with facts, but this is a great part to put facts into, because if people do want to look and see, like, is there really a need, you have something that already backs that up. Financial needs. So your financial needs. This is a great place to put your wish list, like if you need a website, if you need a building, you need anything, you put it all in this area, your financial needs. And it's good to add some sort of a budget. You probably won't have much of a budget because you won't know how much you can bring in, but you can always do an estimate. So you can do an estimated budget of, this is how much, staff would be paid, this is how much, how many fees we would take out, this is how much we would need to actually get true results, so to fund, a certain amount of kids or a certain amount of programs or whatever. You would break all those things down under your financial needs, and then also add your wish list in there in the back to kind of show, this is what we do actually need to make the program work. Because I'm telling you, oftentimes people do read through these things and they do want to help you, and it may not be in the way that you're asking, but if they don't have any other options to help you, then it's a little tough, right? You want to make sure that this is a tool that's going to work for you. So don't be too serious about everything that's going in here, but try to be as thorough as you can. Try to think through all of these areas, because it can be a super helpful tool. So those are my 10 tips on the few elements that you should be adding in to create a 1 to 3 page business plan for your business. And one of the things I really want you guys to just keep in mind is that this is a tool to help you. More so than anything else, it's a tool to help you. So you really want to be as thorough as you can. You want to think through as much as you can. And it's a great way to get everything on paper so that you can share that with other people. It's even good, you could even have this on your website if you wanted to. So I hope that helped you guys. Those are my 10 elements that you need for a business plan. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon. If you are not signed up for the Socialife Diaries, go to ashleetate.com and sign up there so you can join over 200 other entrepreneurs with a purpose who are unleashing their something amazing in our Socialife tribe. And I will see you guys soon. Thank you again for watching. Bye, guys.